Hello everyone, my name is Volshan, also known as James in game. Now, as a first little caveat here, I'm not a PvP player. However, I've been working with a guy who does do a lot of PvP, and I have his messages pulled up here that we were kind of back and forth working on. So before we get into the tier list specifically, first things first, PvP power. Uh, it increases your damage against players by X amount, depending on how much PvP power you have. And that's in arenas. It also increases your healing and absorption done in arenas and battlegrounds by 8%. Also, if you're in high risk open world, damage against creatures is increased by 21%, and damage taken from creatures is reduced by 21%. Don't go into PvE with PvP gear on because you will do very little damage. So the only arena that it looks like we'll have is 2v2 and 3v3. No 1v1 arena. And he didn't do much 3v3 because there wasn't too many people on the PTR for us. Let me see. But prediction for some metas will be Paladin Warrior for 2v2, Rogue Mage, Druid Warrior, Priest Rogue, and for 3v3 it's looking like Priest Mage Rogue. 1v1 is very weird currently because each class does well versus a different one, but some do better, like mages that have the slow talent that you can see in the arcane tree. It has no cooldown and has 100% uptime. Even if it's dispelled, you can just reapply it. And with Time Warp and a few more Mystic Enchants, it's extremely strong class, S tier for sure. So one thing he says is that all classes are going to be, all classes are going to be S tier, but we will figure out here which ones are A and A plus and stuff like that. Now, another thing, he played quite a few characters. Paladin is very strong versus each class. Only time that he lost was a mage, not Frost, but Arcane due to the slow talent. Shaman is good at applying pressure and strong. Probably the most fun build he's played, beating almost everyone, and it suffers versus Rogue the most. Gladiator Stance Warrior has some nuts one-shots and can end fights in under 5 seconds if the enemy has no trinket. It did receive some minor nerfs, though. He says that's also a thing. This is all subject to change due to, nerfs buffs that will happen. Also, in Phase 1 on PTR, we won't have some of the items that we have here on the PTR. PvP stun reduction, trinket plus 2 Warforged ones, stuff like that. Also, not about war, that arms will be a go-to for 2v2, 3v3 due to Mortal Strike. Oh, he's also note about Warrior that arms will be a go-to for 2v2, 3v3 due to Mortal Strike healing reduction. He says that's the thing. I asked him, I was like, hey, is there a way that we could, kind of put these like S tier plus because slows, stuff like that. He says, that's the thing, I'm sorry, but everything is S tier apart from Druid, but there are a few Warforged items that people need to understand that just because they are found at level 10, they can still be best PvE PvP items if upgraded to 60. We will be getting into this here very soon. Okay, so I started working with another guy who also PvPs. Now, here is the tier list that we currently came up with. So 1v1, so a lot of the information comes from 1v1s because there wasn't very many people doing 2v2s on the PTR. So for 1v1s, Prot Pally, Tank Shaman, and Gladiator Stance Warrior are very strong, kind of brain dead. Every class has to work 10 times harder than you do to win. Probably struggles versus some casters though, can't tell you honestly because I only play melee. Overall performance, Subtlety is a goated spec, it's his personal favorite, lots of control, can set the pace of a fight with stuns, cheap shot, kidney shot that do not share a DR. I can't remember what DR stands for. Uh, they do not share a DR here. So long windows to lock down people for teammates or yourself to burst. Strong burst damage. Shadow Dance is extremely impactful. Durable through cheat death and using said control to go in and out of fight at your own pace. Again, setting the flow of the match. Warriors. Arms is good, but struggles with raid generation issues. Very durable, second wind, blood craze, enraged regen. Self-healing is valuable. Damage output is high. Depends on swapping to defensive stance with shield, / one-hander. Use of revenge in prod skills while swapping back to two-hander for burst windows. Gladiator stance, Unga Bunga me tanker. High damage, extremely tanky, subject to nerf. Subject to nerfs already and maybe more on the way. Feral Druid. Swapping between bear, similar to Arms Warrior when needed, still outputting respectable damage while being very durable. Good damage in kitty form with support through instant cyclones or healing. Access to instant root, solar beam, silence means a good CC toolkit. Very weak to being stunned / killed out of bear, so needs to play careful. Casters. Shadow Priest is S tier. S tier. Durable, strong damage, horror, silence, fear kit for CC chains and setup. Overall, very strong class. Fire Mage, very good damage, can struggle versus melee, but if played well, is very deadly. Destralock, it kind of depends on the meta right now. It's very high damage with Conflag build, struggles versus melee, but with the right classes to support it, it will probably be a very high tier class. These are all I've versed for multiple games, multiple 1v1s or 2v2s. I don't have good intel on the rest of the classes. Now, like I said, most of this info is off of 1v1 skirmishes, as the sample pool for PvP in a BG environment is few and far between on the beta realms. In BGs, things could be completely different, and on Arena Ladder and 2v2 and 3v3, things will be completely different. So these classes that are tanks might even drop down to F tier. So it is PTR, things are very subject to change. But this is what we have come up with what he's seen and what the other guy has seen. And I think that this is a very good what we have. Assassination sucks way too much ramping for damage. Rogue isn't a face tank in DPS class here. Bleed stacking isn't massively impactful. Poison is a lot of your damage, and you need wound poison to give your damage. Meaning, which means you miss out on deadly or instant. Combat, bad damage, no combat point economy, suffers the same problem Assassination does. You're not a face tank class. You go toe-to-toe with a warrior or a feral, enhancement shaman, you're going to struggle. You don't have dance, you don't have access to cheap shot as often, you don't control the flow of the match the same way Subtlety does. Let me see. Yeah. So, there you go. This is our tier list for PvP. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them down in the description. And I will go through and try to reach out to these guys to get those questions answered as soon as possible. I'll even put this like this because I feel like this is better. But yeah, feel free to reach out. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are maining. Here are those trinkets that he was talking about. These trinkets, he did not give me a place where to get these, but I will check out specifically I'll try to find out where to get them. If I can find it, I will post them somewhere on the screen now. If not, good luck, everybody, on where to find these. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, go check out some of my other videos for Ascension. Another thing, we're at almost 2,000 subscribers. If we reach 2,000 subs before the end of October, I am going to fully shave my head, and we are donating my hair to Wigs for Kids. I have long hair, and I love it, but it's for a good cause, and I would love to have it donated. Also, click this link, join the Discord link, and so you don't miss out on any new video uploads. So, I will see you guys all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.